What's happening, everybody? Of course, it's your host, Brink Young, coming straight out of them South Memphis slums, and you are watching the most award-winning independent talk show in the whole South. Talk about none other than BrinkTV. Now, hey, I gotta say this, man. We talking about a real full circle moment. This guy is actually the very first guest we've had on the BrinkTV talk show on Comcast, Channel 31 in Memphis, 11, 12, 13. So y'all know how many years ago that was. But not only is he an artist, not only is he a activist, he's also a Grammy nominated artist. Now we talking about straight out of North Memphis, my guy Marco Pave. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm good.
First, I gotta say thank you for coming back on the show.
Absolutely.
As I told you off camera, sometimes people, they come back when they kind of, on the decline. Mm-hmm. But you are one of the artists that's coming like when you going up like crazy because you were just nominated for a Grammy.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute, man. We got plenty to talk about because I said, man, he's the first, the first. And we got plenty to catch up on. You actually live in D.C. now, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, man. Like, what made you move to D.C.? We talk about Chocolate City. We talk about from the M-Town to Chocolate City. How it happened, man?
Memphis is a real Chocolate City.
Okay. He said it, not me.
Memphis is a real giant. But nah, D.C. came up. So I'm an artist in residence at Georgetown University now. My wife is a professor there as well. So yeah, it was kind of like a team moment for us to go out there, negotiate for us to move up in the world, if you will.
Yeah.
And so yeah, now I'm running this residency program. I get to do all the stuff that I've always wanted to do as far as like bringing artists and putting panels together.
Yeah.
And, just working with the community kind of deal. So it's dope.
Man, that's incredible. We talk about Professor Pave. Hey, man, he getting his Dwayne Wayne on. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But let's talk about like some of the differences between a city like D.C. and a city like Memphis. Of course, we in the South, and sometimes things might get misunderstood, should I say? But what would you say are some of the biggest differences between D.C. and Memphis?
DC and Memphis, the thing that's alike is the black. You can feel the black power. You can feel the black people like owning and taking up space.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. But outside of that, like Memphis is on the struggle bus as far as transportation.
Okay.
That was the main thing for me when I got there. Just knowing that you could get around.
Okay.
Freely.
Yeah.
You got a metro, you got a train, you got buses. Like you can get anywhere in the city. Freely. And so that's a big difference between here and you got to have a car in Memphis.
Yeah.
You got to have a car to drive across this big old vast city. And yeah, it's just a lot more opportunity there. A whole lot of, obviously government money is being pushed into that city. But yeah, nothing's like home at the same time.
Yeah.
Like our culture is still powerful and it can't be kind of washed out. Like DC has been gentrified multiple times over and over again. And Memphis is still holding on strong in a different kind of way.
I gotta ask you, man, who got the better food, man? I mean, I feel like it's Memphis.
I mean, for sure, Memphis for sure. But it's like, if you're trying to watch your weight and blood pressure, DC probably got it. But nah, I definitely miss home very often as far as from the culinary side.
Yeah.
My daughter is always like, I want to go back home. I want to get Submarine Sandwich Shop, or we want to get a 4-way, or we want to get the Fry Guy. So it's just stuff that like staples that you can't really replace. It ain't really no good soul food in DC. I ain't even gonna lie. The places that they have sent me to, I'm like, nope.
It's bland.
This ain't it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely more culture. So like Ethiopian food out there is heavy. A lot of Thai food.
Yeah.
Japanese food. So it's different cultures. Not that Memphis don't have those, but it's way more.
It's more prominent there.
In DC, yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead transition, man, because like I said, when you came on the show, you were pretty much fresh out of high school, a baby.
Yeah.
You didn't have this beard that you got on this couch. He was not beard gang back then.
Yes,
but let's talk about something that actually changed your life. I mean, on a total spectrum, marriage. You got married at a real young age, right?
Yeah, 22.
22.
Yeah.
Man, and still married. married.
Still married, yeah.
Man, I gotta give you props on
Thank
that.
you,
Congratulations on that. But let's talk about like that whole thing, you know, and how it kind of helped enlighten and further your career. Because you told me off camera that it did add to it.
Absolutely. I mean, marriage is a big deal in our community. It's stability.
Yeah.
And it created so much stability for me. And when I came on BrinkTV at 19 years old, I was already trying to do big and powerful stuff with my career. So for me, marriage just kind of like solidified this foundation that I was already working on as a young man, and just made me be even more serious. Because I think a few months after that interview, my son was born.
Okay.
And yeah, so that added to the element of just like, man, it's serious. You know, I got a young person counting on me.
Yeah.
So yeah, marriage has just been great, and it just has elevated everything that I'm doing. But also, like, my wife is just a great partner for me. And we support each other. I didn't learn plenty of things from her, and vice versa. And we like understand each other, and we're a team. And so it's just more so like, where are we both trying to go, and how do I assist you going where you're trying to go, and how do you assist me in going where I'm trying to go? It's not like the gender dynamics are not what people would think.
Okay.
We try to be partners and not husband and wife, because you know, some days I might be cooking, some days she might be cooking, like these type of vibes. So it's a good balance.
So of course we got to talk about, because she's actually a college professor, man. Now, I don't know about you, but it had to be some type of intimidation factor there. Like for me, if I was I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to shoot my shot at anybody. But we talking about being young, and she's a college professor, you're a rapper. Let's talk about that merger, man. How does that happen?
It's dope though, like, cause the stuff that she studied, you know, like black popular culture, the sociology of the South, sociology of hip hop, like the list goes on. So she from, you know, she's a millennial like me, so it's like coming up, studying or looking at the same stuff, learning about the same stuff, listening to the same stuff. 3 6 Mafia, you know, Project Pat, all of that is like incorporated into how she studies the South and how she studies black people. So it was kind of like a foregone conclusion for us to like really connect in that way. So it was so many more levels that we connect on than not, that it's like the intimidation was almost like not even a factor. Because like I said, I knew I was trying to like elevate and step my game up. So it was kind of like, let's get it. But also, as you saying, like, it was that level of intimidation, because it's just like, this, I was thrown into worlds I had no idea about, kind of deal, and it helped me really, build and grow up real fast, kind of deal. So
and I think it's incredible, man, because it's kind of like, the old saying, like, you throw a baby in the water, baby go start swimming. Knowing your background, knowing where you're from, for you able to adapt and shine in any arena. I learned that just by meeting you, interviewing you. But I learned that even further when I saw your TED Talk in TEDx Talk. Let me say that. Let me correct myself. In 2015, man, I was blown away by that. I was inspired and impressed. So let's get into that, man.
Yeah, the TED Talk, man. That was I was one of the first. That was the first inaugural TEDx Memphis.
Okay.
So yeah, a part of that cohort of being the first TEDx speakers in Memphis, and I had been public speaking up to that point. I spoke at UCLA, University of Cincinnati, Purdue. Like, I was going around just doing my thing, mostly speaking about hip hop culture and Southern hip hop influence and things like that. So when that TED Talk opportunity came, I was just like, man, let me throw my head in there and see what I can really, all this stuff that's been on my mind about arts entrepreneurship, really wanted to put that into a forum where I could just get all my ideas out and say it into a public space. And that TED Talk has really been used in a lot of funding conversations in the city. A lot of nonprofits use it. People constantly hit me up like, oh, what resources did you use to do your TED Talk? So it was a powerful moment for me. Yeah, for sure.
Man, like I say, it was incredible to watch. You guys, it's available on YouTube right now. Just type in Marco Pave TED Talk. You will find it. Trust me. It's real inspirational. And to hear, certain things that you were talking about, you mentioned, growing up with your father. Off camera, and of course we're about to get into the Grammy nomination shortly, but off camera you told me how the relationship with your father is kind of now. Let's dive into that if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm an open book. Even in the TED Talk, I spoke about, the relationship that we've had. There's been struggles. There's been abuse. There's been like just not seeing eye to eye, just normal not seeing eye to eye. And I was estranged for a moment, like 2014 to maybe 2016. We wasn't talking because it had hit ahead, and I didn't feel supported in my life, my marriage, like all these different things that I was going through to improve my life. I felt like my family specifically was almost going against that. I went to therapy, did my own work on myself, and kind of like, I'm at a point now where I'm like, okay, yeah, if my dad died and we not talking, I'm gonna be more upset and sad about that than this stuff that I'm sad about from the past, kind of deal. So I, work through it, and we see each other on the same wavelength now, and it's a good full circle kind of moment.
One thing that I can say, man, is I understand, our city, there are a lot of people who grow up without their father. Number one, in the house. Number two, in their life. So I feel like we are that chosen few who actually have it, but it's like the challenges that were in that house. Because, I mean, let's be honest, man, trauma is real.
Yes,
and hey, we all grow up with it. We all don't have the greatest relationships with our dads, because sometimes, man, people go through things and it kind of makes them who they are, and it ends up falling on the kids. But I'm thankful that you and me, or we are part of the generation that actually try to fix that and try to work on it. You mentioned therapy. Therapy is critical. It's important for us. I feel like we all need to do it. But I'm glad to see where you are now, so that helps me to piggyback to the actual Grammy nomination.
Yes, sir.
You told me, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, man, because it's a beautiful story. I want to go there because we on fathers right now. So let's talk about the actual moment of you letting your father know, or should I say your father letting you know that you're nominated for a Grammy.
For sure. It's been dope. Like we've been talking, building our relationship just over the years. We'll check in, so I got the nomination the day before my 30th birthday.
Wow.
So it was November 15th this year, and he called me the next day on my birthday, November 16th, and I'm like, happy birthday. This was kind of the first time he done that in a long while, kind of deal. So it was super dope. I had this news in my back pocket. I was like, I don't feel like I want to share it. I feel like the air will be taking out the balloon if I just say it in this conversation. So I'm like, let my birthday be my birthday, kind of deal. He called. He must have heard it on the news. He was driving around town listening to V101 or something, and called me and played me the voicemail. Called me and left me a voicemail and was like, I just heard on the radio. They said something about Marco Pave nominated for a Grammy. And he was just blown away. And I called him right back after that. And it was like a full circle moment of like basically everything that I've been doing for the past 12 years started to make sense to him. And he was like, I'm proud of you. Like in a definitive way, no backhand comment type of stuff, just straight up like, you done it, you done made it, like kind of deal. So it was dope.
Now, before we turn into two black men crying on the white couch, I'm going to go ahead and change the flow of traffic just a tad bit. Let's dive into what you're actually nominated for. Go ahead.
We nominated in the Best Contemporary Classical Best Contemporary Classical Composition category. And that is a wild, category for a rapper to be nominated in. But it's contemporary classical music. But me, I'm bringing rap to it. I'm on it, doing spoken word, doing rap. I'm the griot of the project. And the project is called Requiem for the Enslaved. And it's telling this story of the 272 black people that were sold by Georgetown University in 1834.
Wait a minute. Time out. Wait a minute. Did you just say black people that were sold by Georgetown University?
Yes.
Not by a human being, by an institute?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So they sold, and this is one of many sales. This is one of the larger sales. But they've sold, people at multiple times to get the funding that they needed to keep their college open or run their operations kind of deal. So
Wow.
they had slaves to do that work, and sold those people in order to fund their institution.
Okay.
And yeah, so we're shining light on the people.
Okay.
We don't care about Georgetown. We don't care about that we know people sold slaves. The shining the light on the lives that were affected by slavery was the key for us, and honoring those lives and basically singing them to heaven is
Okay.
what we're doing. Yeah.
All right, so hey, it's definitely out right now. Go ahead and talk about the whole thing, because I remember you said that you guys recorded the project and then released it when?
Yeah, so we recorded it in May of 2021, and then it was the world premiere with the Library of Congress, November of 2021, and then the album dropped for Juneteenth 2022, and by November of 2022, we were nominated for a Grammy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible. So
Yes,
we're
sir.
talking about upcoming Grammy Awards. It's in February. Is it February?
Yeah.
It's in February. So I mean, we got to talk about, like, are you nervous? I mean, because you talking about being at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California, with all of these celebrities. We talking about artists that you listen to growing up, that you listen to now. Some of your favorite musicians are gonna be there. What's gonna be going through your head, man?
Oh man, I'm excited about just the 65th Grammys. Like, it's so many historical elements to this one. You know, Beyonce is nominated for dance music in the dance music category. Jay Ivy is nominated in the first ever spoken word poetry album category. DJ Khaled is nominated for Song of the Year. God did, and like, I like that song. I listened to that song as motivation kind of deal. So being included in all of that mix, I'm just like super excited. And then me being the first rapper nominated in this contemporary classical composition category is big, and I'm just ready to walk the red carpet, you know, show my fans the journey and all of that. I'm excited but nervous, but really excited to just, you know, show my fans like what that looks like.
And of course, my man Prep Curry will be styling him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, so
Shout
he's
out to
gonna
Prep
be
Curry.
fit, suited, booted for the red carpet. Now, I gotta ask you, like, what if you guys win? Like, I mean, I'm saying, like, what happens if you win?
Yeah, for sure. The price is up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The price is going up if we win. But if we win, for sure, I'm going to just be really, really blown away. And I tell people that I've talked to about this, like, it's a either or situation. What the album is about can either help us win because of what it's about, or it could not help us win because of what it's about.
I understand.
So I'm open for it, but I'm praying that we get it. And if we get it, you know, we definitely taking this thing to all type of different stages. You know, opera, you know, movie adaptations, all type of stuff that we can do with it. So I'm excited.
Hey man, hey, we talking about coming to a venue or theater near you. It will happen. Trust me. But of course, you know, the prices go up anyway because you Grammy nominated. I mean, it's not all the time we have a Grammy nominated artist on the Brink TV show. Hey, I'm thankful that you are. But let's go ahead and change the flow of traffic just a tad bit. On the first episode of Brink TV on Comcast 31 Memphis, you were talking about the Books on Bill program. How did things go with that, man?
Books on Bill went really, really well. It opened up so many doors for me. Like I told you back then, like, I'm from North Memphis. So I saw this Sears Crosstown building be closed for the majority in all of my life up to that point. So Books on Bill for me was an attempt to be involved in the, you know, regentrification of my neighborhood, of my community. Really wanted to be involved in what was happening because I saw the writing on the wall, like, oh, they finna come try to push us out. And so I did a whole lot of activist work to really make sure that they were including, you know, black people in the community, including black artists in the development of the space and things like that. And then obviously nothing is perfect. They still have many, many flaws. But what Books on Bill did for me was open up a lot of doors and put me on a pedestal in a way to show the city that I was more than a rapper. You know, open up doors for me to work with different nonprofits and be even working with more students, which I did with MMI. Memphis Music Initiative. So the Books on Bill led directly to those opportunities to work with students at Booker T. Washington and Carver and all of that. So it was a powerful moment for me.
I definitely got to commend you on that, man,
Yeah.
because like I say, the Books on Bill thing, that was amazing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, an attempt to boost literacy rates. To me, that makes a lot of sense. Now, we got to go ahead and talk about, you know, because a lot of things have changed within this city as well as this show, you know, over the years since the last time you were on here. One of the things that I like to dive into is some of the losses that we may have had. I feel like one of the biggest losses that this city is taking is obviously the loss of young Dolph. Is it anything about that you might want to, you know, mention, or did you have any interactions with him or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still torn up about it. Just like it hurt to the core. I never forget, and that happened the day after my birthday,
Wow.
2021.
Yeah.
So November 17th, 2021.
Yeah.
I get the I'm on the phone and I see it and I just break down. I'm like just torn up about it. But yeah, I had interactions with him. I opened for him at Lemoyne College in 2015. Producers that I know worked with him, made beats for him, and he was just a real good dude in the community that everybody that worked with him can vouch for his realness and just what he stood for, kind of deal.
So one question I gotta ask you, like, how do we protect our legends as well as our living legends? Like, how do we do that as a city?
Man, it's definitely on the city as a whole, all of us, to really start trying to bring more people together. Like you talked about the Farrakhan situation, just bringing all our legends together and like trying to figure out a way to put these differences aside to unify our city and unify our power, because that's what we have when we move as a unit. You see Atlanta, you see Houston, like everything obviously is not perfect in those places, but they still have a idea that, you know, working together is better than this individualist mentality that is kind of going on right now.
Yeah, and as he mentioned, you know, Farrakhan, like, you know, Minister Farrakhan came to the city a few years ago and spoke, but he did a call of action. He wanted all of the rappers, the major rappers, the independent rappers, like everybody who has a voice, he wanted them to be there. And Dolph came, you know, 8Ball and MJG was there, Player Fly was there, and many others. And one thing that I noticed was Dolph really, like, he was in tune. Like, he was paying attention to everything that Farrakhan was saying. Like, their interaction was golden. And one of the phrases that a lot of people use these days is understanding the assignment. Like, Dolph really understood the assignment. Like, he was there because he is a man of change. He is a man of improving his neighborhood, his community, and this city. So we definitely took a major loss with that one. Let's go ahead, transition into music, man. You know, I know you working on new stuff. You constantly dropping music. Let's get into it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. 2022 been a big one for me. I just told myself I just got to be more consistent on the releases. So yeah, we dropped Requiem for the Enslaved. That's that album. But then I dropped, 3 singles this year. Lifted, Elephant Hustle, and Mind Over Matter. So all of those are out now, streaming everywhere. Project at the top of the year. Still working on the dates. But yeah, we definitely gonna be out before the Grammys to celebrate the Grammys. So I'm working, just playing music in the chamber. And yeah, just other stuff I'm diving into is exciting too. So yeah.
All right, so we got to talk about, man, outside of being an artist, Grammy nominated artist, outside of being an activist, man, what are you into in your downtime? I'm pretty sure you reading and stuff like that, but like, what other hobbies do you have?
I've been into boxing.
Okay.
So I was doing that intensely for a while before my life got super busy with the Grammys and traveling and all of that. But yeah, boxing is like my thing. I really like it. I'm pay-per-viewing the fights. I done seen like 3 Canelo fights. Excited for the Devontae Davis fight on the 7th.
Okay.
They actually fighting in DC, but I'll be in Memphis, so I'm gonna pay-per-view that junk. So yeah, it's been super good for me to just like work out, be mentally developing something else that's outside of rap. And it's been fun.
That's cool, man. All right, go ahead, run all of that social media, that way that people can keep up with you and all of that.
For sure, it's King of Marco on everything. KingofMarco. King of Marco on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. So tap in.
Now, this is my favorite part of the show because on BrinkTV, we got two cameras. This camera over here, this is your camera. What I need you to do is look into this camera and tell the people why they should check you out. All of your music. Check out your TED Talk from 2015 because it's real inspirational. And tell them why they should watch the Grammys in February. Go.
Yes, sir. Tap in with me, Marco Pave. I'm a hip-hop artist from North Memphis. I done really made nothing into something. From open mics all the way to the Grammys. You want to follow somebody that's inspirational, that means something to the community, that loves their community, that actually loves what they do and love the people that they working with. That's the person you tap in with, and that's me. Tap in with me, and let's keep building.
Hey, I couldn't have said it no better myself. I got to say thanks for coming back on the show. And, hey, man, I really hope you bring that trophy home,
we
man.
Praying for it. Let's go.
Got to.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, now back to more Brink TV.
Yes, sir.